Item 4, approval of minutes.
Motion to approval.
Yes, sir.
Green,
Yes.
Bill, Conrad,
Yes.
sir. Thank you.
Item 5, unfinished business. We have none. Item 6, new business. A, board report of jail inspection. Any comments on the jail?
Thought it looked very clean, very well taken care of. Yes, I have.
It's 360-degree turnaround from what it was a year ago. It's outstanding compared to what I walked into last year. The sheriff and her crew, and Commissioner Friddle, and some of his folks that come in there and buckle down, and they put this thing back together, and it looks as good as it's ever looked in the past. In the 14 years that I worked down there, it looked good, but she done an excellent job, and so did the rest of them that helped out. So it's looks good, looks great, and they're continuing to work on it. They're not just resting on what they've done; they're continuing to move forward. So that's a plus. That's always a plus. So that's it. I'll shut up.
I will have to admit, it's had a major cleaning, but I still have some concerns about the age of the structure. I know it's, last year everybody was saying, it's 110 years old, well, now it's 111, so, there's going to be issues come up and arise that's going to be unforeseen, I know that. I know whenever, we've discussed it before, but when the AC units come on in the spring,
Condensation.
having problems again.
That's with the entire courthouse.
Yes.
That's the thing, it's not just the jail, it's the entire
But
courthouse.
it just seems like everything flows downhill, so.
Yeah.
And I'd agree with you. I mean, the building is 111 years old, and there always is problems. But if you guys watched the TV a couple weeks ago and seen the jail at Ottawa County, and it's not near as old as ours, and it looked like hell. I mean, it looked like absolute hell. So, and I've been in a lot of jails in Oklahoma and Kansas, picking up prisoners, and this 111-year-old jail right over here looks better than most I've walked in. So, and that's just from the people that run the jail and how they're supported. And in the past, this board has supported that jail over there, and this board has supported the jail. So you gotta work hand in hand to keep it going. So I think we've done well. So
It is literally the foundation of our courthouse.
yeah, literally.
Yeah. So if it is in decay, we are in trouble with the courthouse. And I know it's old, but, I think it's got another few years left in it.
Yeah. And the condensation, I agree. I mean, that's going to happen. It's always been that way. We've fought that for years. So.
Well, I think the AC unit is causing it. That's obvious because we quit using it and it quits happening.
Yeah.
We turn it back on
Yeah.
and the coolant lines sweat.
Yeah.
So it would be nice to look into how to remedy that and not have to maybe modify that unit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's, an AC unit is going to be the same components. You're going to have compressors, condensers, and evaporators. It's just a matter of where they're placed.
Yeah.
So I think it could be done. I just,
Can I ask you a question?
yes.
Where are we at on the alarm system?
I actually got an email that came from Oklahoma City, but it's basically still sitting in Oklahoma City. The fire marshals,
Maybe it's time to ask Mr. Strong to help
that's
us.
how I got the email I received. I actually talked to Julie Daniels, and she's the one of her aides got to help us
Did they,
find out where it's at, but it's,
I don't think the fire marshals had it very long.
no, there was a delay. Glen Security still had the clearance, and they had never forwarded them on down there. I don't believe they received them until like October or November.
I thought it was just a few weeks ago,
I've got it in.
less than 3 weeks, I would say. So they haven't had them, the fire marshal hasn't had them very long.
you guys haven't requested the money from us yet.
No.
No, because we haven't.
I just want to make sure if I can help anyway, I'll try.
You guys have helped a bunch.
Yeah.
That was,
Yeah. And this particular email, it doesn't give a date of when they received them, but it hadn't been very long. It just hit their desk.
Last money I was in Ottawa County, and the fire damage was only about $1,500, but they found out their Johnson control system didn't work, and they still can't get parts for it, and that's what locks it unlocks. And also that their fire suppression system did not work, and they're gonna have a modification of that, so they can't get back in their jail either. And it's crippling their sheriff's department. When I was there, you know, the meeting that we had here down the hall, you know, a couple of months ago, there were standing room only in the hallways last Monday, and they asked me to speak a little bit, just kind of calm everyone down, because everyone's kind of blaming each other, and the truth is, it's, you know, it's a problem, Jill, a problem. I've met with a lot of counties now, and I explained to the group that 4 of my 7 counties are having difficulties with sheriffs and jails. It's a big burden. And the 5th is up and down, depending on whether Google is under construction or not, and the other 2 are more stable. I said, well, why would you want the other 2 do? And I said, well, it's kind of population, you know, there's money, and we got 85,000 in the county. It's relatively easy to keep up. But I think I calmed the folks down there, and the county asked me to come speak, and so I did. And you guys have made me an expert in jails now. I'm not really, but it's happening. And this is a common problem, whether a brand new jail or an old jail. I mean, it's a common problem.
It's an old jail, but like I say, I will agree, it has come a long way.
I mean, they've all had problems, you're right. I mean, Washington County had problems when they opened that, but I mean, that's Rogers County, same deal. I mean, I think even Craig County had problems.
Craig, Delaware, Ottawa, you guys have all had problems in Washington in the past.
So it's
And I think Rogers County just doesn't money, to be honest.
I've been working with the sheriff and Judge Gibson. We've had a couple incidents in the last month or so that kind of raised the hair on some people's necks up there. I know we don't have the funding to have a courthouse officer up there all the time, but things get pretty carried away with certain cases up there. So we thought maybe just a simple solution of posting signage at the doors. This came from another county. The wording is exactly like other counties have. Y'all may wonder why I'm doing this, because I'm a city officer, but we have a mutual aid agreement with the sheriff's department, and we respond up there just as much as they do. So it is in our interest also. It's citizens that live in the city, and we're here to protect everybody. But I think something as simple as that, posted at both doors, would cause people to think about it before they walk in with a big old hunting knife strapped on their side, or a firearm, or a taser, or...
Well, with the new law with the concealed carry, I mean, it does kind of Seems like, and I'm not picking on just the ladies, but I mean, but some do carry them in their purse.
Sure.
You know, and they may not realize that they have it.
This is a site where we get a lot of signs that the city built on. It's a build a sign. You can go on there and customize your sign. And I printed this off just for y'all to see. If you get 2 of them, one for each store, it's gonna be $20.87 a piece. And they're aluminum. They're good material. So, those came from Rogers County. The only difference is I took the Rogers County Sheriff off the bottom and put Nowata County on there. But I honestly think it would help. It would make people think about before they walk in the doors to come into a court hearing if they're packing weapons.
What is, and I don't know much about the concealed carry or open carry or any of that stuff. Is there not signage on the door that there's not supposed to be weapons in there?
No firearms.
No firearms. There is that on there.
I believe there is. I believe there's a little one on the door.
I mean, it ain't very big. I know
Yeah.
that.
But you know, we had a preliminary hearing 2 weeks ago. The judge told the defendant to go sit at the table with his attorney, and he stood up and had a huge knife sticking right out of his pocket right here. And that's uncalled for. I mean, you shouldn't be allowed to carry stuff like that in the courthouse. I understand every rancher, every farmer has a pocket knife. I mean, I've carried one my whole life, but you don't need a big old obvious knife hanging off your side. Then we had a guy was there for court, set his backpack in the hallway right outside the courthouse door. And I stopped court and got the judge's attention, and he said, no, that's not gonna happen. You don't do stuff like that nowadays. So, I just think we need to tighten up security a little bit up there.
Yeah.
We live in a different age. I think it needs to be specified. I agree. It needs to be specified that it's not just firearms.
I'd entertain a motion to look in, or let the chief continue to look into the signs. Maybe get with Kay. I don't know, is it something
Need to table, put on the agenda.
could make a resolution here, probably? Is that something we could go through Tulsa County, their shop down there, and see what it would cost?
Probably.
See if there'd be any difference in cost, their sign shop?
Doug, these are aluminum. I mean, I don't know anything about sign. We order a lot through here because we can custom make them. We made some no trespassing signs.
The same thing it says today, the same thing on it. You can have your resolution, and you want to create it, and then just add it.
I heard everything he said, but
I'm sorry, he asked if we needed to table it, to get some paperwork done, make sure we got the paperwork done. And I told him that instead of tabling it, because tabling it just put for the same topic. You're wanting to go a step further, so instead of tabling it, let Kay get the paperwork done, and then I can just add it to next week's agenda. Yeah, instead of using the same verbiage, because tabling is gonna create the same verbiage.
I just suggest one at each door at the bottom floor. I mean, they have to come in one way or another. They need to be on the door so they see them before they get inside.
Well, I hate to say it, but put it out in the front. It needs to be where people visibly see it.
Before they go up.
Well, it's not just there, I mean, but I hate to say it, but some people are, I hate to downgrade some people, but some people, they're foolish enough to walk in the sheriff's department.
Sure. Maybe 2 at the bottom of the stairs here on a
Yes.
post.
Yes.
Mounted on a post at each corner of the, and then one at the back door Yeah.
I'm just saying, I just feel like the sheriff's office needs to be covered
Yes.
just as well.
Yeah, well, and I agree, people don't pay attention. I put cones out during at the school because there was only 2 of us there, and people drove right around the cones, and one lady ran over it.
I'm gonna walk up the steps. I have a pocket knife.
You all can change the wording any way you want to on there. It's just, that came from Rogers County, that's the exact wording that their sign says.
I know we have a lot of employees that use their lunch hour to quilt and knit.
Yeah, and that was something that I kind of laughed when I said, because they're talking about something that can be used, an ice pick, yeah, anything can be used as a weapon.
I think if you're gonna talk about signage, I think you're gonna have to talk more than 2 or 3. Because you actually, even though you only have 1 back door, you have 2 access points to get in the door. You come from where the steps that come down to the door, and then the sidewalk that comes from the south, you know, so.
Well,
So
then
you're talking
again-
more signs.
And then again, this is a government building. I mean, you actually need one posted over here.
Look, so, I mean, do some research and see what we can do. Maybe juke this around a little bit, like Troy says, see.
I mean, yeah, I'm, so I have to empty my pockets before I go to the courthouse every day.
No,
I
that's
mean,
not what.
I understand.
Well,
Yeah,
you do
but I
for
have a
Washington
pocket knife in my
County.
pocket.
You do for Washington County.
You do
You have to
for
go through a
Rogers,
metal
too.
detector and you empty your
And
pocket.
Rogers County, you do the same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's just, it's enforceable, I think, more so at this
And
point.
we had the
if you
same
post it.
problem at Rogers County when they started posting stuff. You know, the commissioner said, well, I carry a pocket knife and I'm coming in here. Well, you kinda, you know who's
Put this
supposed to
up, I
be
have to
there and
obey
who's
it.
not supposed to be there. And if it's an employee or a county commissioner and they're carrying a pocket knife, you don't get all excited. But if it's still full public and they come in with a big old hunting knife strapped on their side, that's a no-no. So, over there, they have a way to get around that, because they have access keys where they can go in a different door around security if you're an employee.
But officials can carry a weapon in the courthouse anyway. Okay, just making sure. You said that about the public.
And once again, we're talking about the public, we're not talking about the people that work there, that are supposed to be there.
Okay.
It's more so just something to put up as a deterrent.
Yeah,
Just to remind them,
Yeah.
so that they don't lose their temper and have a gun on their side.
And it's something that gives authority
It
to
gives
officers.
enforcement, yes,
It gives us enforcement.
you can enforce it, yeah.
Not like we're gonna arrest everybody, but we can say, hey, go back to your car, put that in your car, you're not supposed to have it in there.
Well, I suggest that the chief get with Kay and with that stuff and show her that website and let her get her familiar with it. Maybe we'll
Get some prices.
prices and work on it and have it ready for next week.
I think looking at that deal, the more you buy, the cheaper they get on that side.
Yeah.
And they're usually here within 4 or 5 days, they're here. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Thanks. Good research. County Commissioner, current status of trust authority.
Yes, back in December, I had a meeting with the Management Authority, 911 Management Authority, and last week in December, they presented me with things that need to be corrected with our deployment plan. We have an extension, we have to have that plan in place by March to seek approval. So, or to prevent our funds from being escrowed. And so what I've got is 8 items that they said that needed to be addressed. And of those 8 items, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 addressed. I've got, they wanted to see a physical quote from R&S Digital for on maintenance of the system that would cost for the year. So they were looking for things that I didn't know exactly what they needed to have done. So by submitting it, at least I got corrections as to what's going on. We have to address our MOA from Coffeyville, because it didn't specifically include South Coffeyville in it. South Coffeyville had a contract with Coffeyville to provide us that service, but they want to see South Coffeyville in it so that in the event down the road something should happen, South Coffeyville's included, so I don't see a problem there. And I have a revised draft of the MOA from Coffeyville. I got it on Friday, so I will forward that to the regional 911 authority in Tulsa, because I have to go through him first before I go to Oklahoma City. And I will forward that draft to him today. I'm in the process of getting letters from the public agencies, the towns, and fire departments that need to sign off that they're in support of Coffeyville doing the dispatching. I've got that in process. The issue that I'm going to have, we need to address, and I don't have a solution, so that is on our budget, on developing a budget for the 911 Trust Authority. We will have maintenance issues. In the agreement, the draft agreement, Coffeyville will support or bear the cost for the IZZInet. That will be an ongoing continuation. See, the management authority didn't know how that was going to happen. They wanted some cost in the profile for that. Well, I was told by Coffeyville that they would be covering that cost. Kansas would cover that cost for the communications going. But then what I have to come up with, and which I didn't know, was that the telephone AT&T, because of the calls that get routed through AT&T, that's a cost. And so that's a monthly cost. And so I have to talk with the AT&T to get some idea what kind of cost that will be. One of the things that they asked for was, instead of, they want a 10-year accounting. So for 10 years, I have to come up with cost analysis to keep this sustainable. And I had not put that into a spreadsheet. They gave me an example to go by, but ours is kind of unique in that respect. So they're looking at dispatching. I got a profile from Beaver County, but they're setting up a dispatch. And so their dispatch, they can calculate what it is. I just have to come up with some maintenance costs. And that is for the services that RNS would provide us, and scale that for a 10-year program profile to come up with costs to do this. But the issue is budgets. And I have, even if we were to launch today, there's no money in the 911 Trust Authority to implement some services that have to be initiated. Which then says, okay, with that, I've got, and that's it. RNS Digital, I have to get a quote from them. They have not cemented. I talked to them back in December. I'll have to probably ask them where they're at with that quote. They had a question on radios and how radio communication was. I thought I had it highlighted in my deployment plan, but I've got a more succinct description on the radios from Coffeyville. They provided me some information so I can include that in the report. So that's what I got from the 911 Management Authority. Next, I had set up an account at the Wells State Bank, Wells State Bank in South Coffeyville for our funds to be transferred to. And I did this in December. Today, well, we received a invoice for $14.77 because the fund that I had set up was a money management fund that has to have a minimum of $50,000, and I knew the money was there for that, but it has not been transferred in. So when I opened up that account, I had a $1 deposit that I put up, to open that account, and money needs to get into that account so that it gets paid, because it will pay for itself. And because of the 1477 that's been there, I will donate 1477 to the county for that fund, so that bill can be paid. But I do need the county to move that money that's in there to the Welch State Bank. And it's got to be transferred.
Do I have money left for you?
Yes, you do.
Well, I was going to suggest that the county, now that the trust authority is formed, that the county invoice me for what money's there. Chris, you need to hear this one. We need to get a hold of Aaron on our staff, our finance officer. Have you guys request, now that the trust is formed, you could request all the money that I have, and I can send it to you guys and transfer it to your bank, and that may get you close to that $50,000 number. And then put me outside of that, where I would just close out that account. You do that in a separate account.
Let the trust authority need to request that so that.
I think it's the county, I think I'm doing with the county. So you could tell me on the request to transfer it to you or to the county. You can tell me where to transfer it from. But I think the request would need to come from you guys initially.
Right, because it's actually the county's the one that.
I'm holding it in trust for the county, so, because that trust didn't exist then.
Right.
So but I think we need to know exactly what it is so I can close it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So your request for the amount needs to be the same amount that I have.
So you can get that to me?
Yeah, right. Well, I'm thinking that the best way to do it is when you're ready to, is call Erin, and she'll find out exactly what's left in that account. And give you guys can fill them out, and I have a resolution ready back for me to,
Okay.
to send it to you guys. And I can send, at your request, I can send it to the trust authority. But it would have to be that in the resolution. You know what I'm saying?
What I do is, we'll find out what the amount is and before, and I'll let Ashley build that resolution. Because you're crossing from a county fund to a different type of fund. It's a trust authority fund, so I feel more comfortable with Ashley build the resolution. And that way we can get it on the board and get it taken care of.
Because this was an odd thing, because it never was legally for me to collect that money for you guys. But when we went to the state, because I went to the 911 precursor of the commission, and they said, just keep it, because since you had not passed a resolution, theoretically, the phone company shouldn't have been sending it to me. And I tried to stop it, and I just could not get it stopped. And so then I went and got direction from them just to put it in an account and hold it for you when you did have it. And now that you do have it, but I was doing that for the county. So I think we're holding that money for the county, so I need direction from you guys to get rid of it and get out of the business and let you have the money. Because right now I've been paying bills, and it would be a lot easier if you guys know you have a trust in a bank and all that, we can just send that money to them.
Do you know who that is?
I really don't. It started around $60,000, but we paid bills for the mapping services and things, and I don't keep up with
So
them.
approximately 50.
I don't know. Joe might have a better idea how much is
It
requested.
was in the 60s, and then we paid 14,000 out.
Right.
That's much I can say. 14,000 and 100.
Right.
So 45-ish?
Yeah, probably.
Probably be a good number.
I didn't think it was quite 50, so I'm going to get you
And
close
see,
to
at the
that.
same time, the state is asking, I have to get in contact, some other forms that I received last Tuesday from the state. I called them right immediately because I was there, and to ask questions on how to get this properly, because it goes through the Oklahoma Tax Commission. And the Tax Commission gets involved to where the money that comes in now will start going to the paperwork to send it directly to Welch State Bank. That needs to happen.
Because theoretically, I was serving as a tax commission under that law then, and I'm not anymore, so we don't have any money.
That's in the works, and then I have to go to Oklahoma City on Thursday and Friday, so I haven't had no feedback from management authority, and I'll do that this week. I got telephone calls to make to AT&T. I got some numbers that I can use contact-wise to get information from them as far as costs in routing services from the county to Tulsa. That has to be initiated too. And that I don't have a problem with because that can be funded and get grant money for that. I can get grant money to do things, but I need to have, before the grant money can be available, the plan has to be approved. And so each week we'll get closer. I think the date, my deadline now is March 22nd, someplace in that neighborhood, to have my final drop dead date. And I believe I should have, I'm getting paperwork done. So it's just a matter of getting costs, and they also wanted to see a revision in our initial contract with RNS Digital because they didn't specifically say that they were going to be responsible for notifying or getting information from the local postal services in the county, which RNS Digital said they would do, but they felt they wanted to see it in black and white as opposed to a handshake.
Or the contract.
Or they want a contract. So they want to see writings. They want to see visual stuff to say that this is where we're going and how we're doing what we're doing.
Or documentation.
Yeah, they want documentation, physical documentation as to this signatures are important. So I'm in the process of getting that pulled together, and we'll be having our meeting on Thursday here at 2 o'clock. And we'll hammer some stuff out at that meeting. See what we need to move forward. We're doing good. They were pleased. I had a follow-up with our contact in Tulsa to let him know where I was at and what I've done, and so he didn't have any issues. He just said that he's there to help any way, which way he could. So, and I said I'll start sending him information as to what I've acquired, and so he can look at it. But he wanted to see the draft first before I make any presentation to any members. You know, for our trust authority team, yeah, we'll look at it, and the corrections look okay. So we'll go through that. And that's all I've got. So, but the monument thing is to get money moved into a fund so that I don't have to pay any more money. And I'll make the donation today so that'll cover that fee and not to worry about it. I don't have a problem with that. That's all I got.
You're very involved in this.
Yes.
And I greatly appreciate it. I know we have a trust authority, but
He leads it.
he is,
I tried to do a good job.
So we can do a good job.
I don't get no money.
I'm serious.
anybody else have anything?
It is appreciated for what you do. Thank you.
That I know, and people have told me that, so, you know, it's a good thing. And it's good for the county, so. Just need more of me. All right.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item E, Grand Gateway Economic Development Trust Authority nomination.
Mary and our attorney, and I've talked to several clerks down, they felt like it might have been a conflict of interest to have a person serving on the co-op board and the trust board, and since there's three, they would like the third person to be the one that's not serving on the co-op board. Yeah, it's about 3 or 4 meetings a year typically. Doug's been on it before.
He thought he was gonna get out of
He
it.
was laughing last
We need to make a motion.
I do.
I make a motion for Mr. Sonnenberg to fulfill this spot.
And I'll second that motion.
There's a meeting Thursday, I believe. So.
Songbird.
Thursday.
Nice.
But I might be the last one of the year. We've had 2 or 3, so.
week. I want to share.